Okay, welcome back to the VDC space. Today we're gonna be modeling a conceptual pedestrian bridge using system families, loadable families, and also parametric families. So essentially, it's just a case of demonstrating using three different types of families to model a conceptual and basic pedestrian bridge. So before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you already subscribed, hit that notification button because I upload BIM modeling tutorials 3 times every week. I cover different topics as you can see on my playlist. Now without further ado, we can start with our project. So the first thing is I'm just gonna set my scale to 1:200 and I'm just gonna extend my views and elevations. So I'm just gonna offset them from all the sides by 50,000 millimeters. Okay, so after that, I'm gonna establish my grids. And by the way, I'm using the structural template in Revit 2024. So I'm gonna start with my grids on this side. I'm gonna place this one like that. Actually, I'm gonna place a horizontal one like this. And then I'm gonna say pick lines. So this one I'm gonna offset by, it's gonna be 2,800 millimeters. And then I'm gonna offset another one further by 20,000 millimeters. And then another one by 2,800 millimeters. So I'm just gonna center them like this. So these ones, I'm just gonna unlock them, and then I'm just gonna reduce them and place it. Let's unlock this one. So this one, I'm just gonna extend it towards the side. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna place other grids. So I'm gonna start on this side. So this one, I'm gonna place it like that. And then I'm just gonna adjust the offset. So the offset is gonna be 10,000 millimeters. And then I'm gonna copy another one further by 10,000, another one by 10,000. So I'm gonna place 5 of them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's perfect. And then I'm gonna do the same thing this side. I'm gonna place another one like this. So I'm gonna offset this one by 10,000 millimeters. And then I'm just gonna copy another one by 10,000 and then another one. So I'm gonna also place 5 of them this side. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. All right. So we established our grids. And the next thing is I'm just gonna place some reference planes which they are gonna help us in terms of modeling our concrete slabs, where the pedestrians are gonna walk. So I'm gonna say pick lines, and then I'm gonna set the offset to 1,150. So essentially, the width of our slabs are gonna be 2,300. So I'm gonna offset it this side, and also this one, this one. So between our slabs, you're gonna have a gap of 500 millimeters. I'm gonna do the same thing this side. Pick lines, pick lines. Perfect. All right. So the next thing is, I think we can start placing our floors. So I'm gonna start from this point, and then I'm gonna take it like this, and then we're gonna move towards this direction. We're gonna turn right there, and then bring it like this, and then this right there is sort of like the crossing, the main crossing, and essentially our bridge is going to consist of like concrete floors running out like this, and then right there in the middle where the road is going to be running under, we're going to have like concrete girders, and also we're going to have like specific and unique piers that are fixed with bearings on top. So no need to talk much, let's just apply the logic right now. So I'm just gonna go to structure and floors, and then essentially we have the generic 300 millimeter floor. I'm gonna go to edit type, duplicate. I'm just gonna change this to 250 millimeter thick slab and say okay, edit, change the thickness to 250, and then the material, obviously I'm gonna make it concrete, so I'm just gonna type in concrete, and then I'm gonna say concrete cast in place and say okay, okay, apply, and then okay. So from this moment, each landing is gonna have a length or width of 1,500 millimeters. But where the bridge turns, it's gonna be 1,800. So I'm gonna start from this grid and to model our floor. So I'm gonna place it like this, and then right on this point, I'm gonna offset this by 750 millimeters. And then I'm gonna add a slope, so it's gonna move in this direction. So this slope, I'm just gonna change, I'm gonna specify it and change it to slope. And then the height offset, I'm gonna make it 0, and then the slope, I'm gonna make it 3.89 degrees. And then I'm gonna say finish edit mode. So after this, I'm gonna say VR. I'm gonna set my view ranges to unlimited, and then my cut plane to, let's say, 10,000. Apply, and then okay, so that I can see the entire thing. And then after that, I'm gonna go to flow again, and then I'm gonna place my landing, my first one. So this landing is gonna be 750 this side, and then I'm gonna extend it further and make it 1,500 millimeters, like I said. Then I'm gonna say finish, open up the 3D view, and then I'm gonna change this to shaded. And then after this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press AL on my keyboard for align, and then I'm gonna hover over our slope, and then press tab until only this line is highlighted. I'm gonna select it, and then I'm gonna select the top face of my landing so that it can be attached and be placed perfectly in relation with our ramp. Okay, so that is the logic behind the walkway. So we're gonna do that as we go along. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the two of these, and then I'm just gonna copy them towards this point. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna adjust them. So AL for align. I'm gonna press the top of my landing and then hover over this one, tab, and then select this face, and then it's gonna be based like this. So what I'm gonna do here, obviously I'm gonna select it, edit boundary, and then I'm just gonna attach it, place it like that, and say finish edit mode, go to the 3D view, and this is what we have. So I'm gonna say align, and then hover over this, and then align it like this. So I'm gonna select the two of these, go to my floor plan, and then I'm gonna copy them further. So it's gonna be based like that, and then like that. And okay, so this is where it tends. So what I'm gonna do in this instance, I'm gonna select my landing, edit boundary, and then so this one is going to be 1,800 millimeters divided by 2, which is 900, and then in total it's going to be 1,800 millimeters. Finish, and then I'm going to select this ramp, and then I'm just going to reduce its length, attach this, and say finish edit mode, go to the 3D view, let's see how it looks. So we need to fix this one, so align, press the top face of this landing, and then this line, attach it perfectly, do the same thing this side, and do the same thing for this one, and then do the same thing for that one. Perfect. So the next thing is I'm going to select this landing. We are not done with it. Edit boundary. I'm going to attach it towards this reference plane. I'm going to extend it towards this side. This is where the pedestrians will turn. And I'm going to say finish edit mode. So when I go to the 3D view, this is how it looks so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to flow again, and then I'm going to place my flow again on this point. So it's easier on this side because we can just select these lines on the first ones that we have created. So and and then we can just say align, and then it will be fixed. The only thing is we're gonna place the slope arrow, which is gonna be facing a different direction this time, but the constraints are gonna be the same. We're gonna set it to slope, the offset, let's set it to 0, and then the slope to 3.89. Finish edit mode, go to the 3D view, align, and then you're gonna press this top face, and then align it like that. And yeah, this is how it looks like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna select this face. So I'm gonna copy it towards this point, and then also this side I'm gonna select this, I mean landing, copy it towards this side, and then also this one I'm gonna copy it towards the side, and then we can adjust them as we go along. So I'm gonna say floor. Actually, let's just select this one. I'm gonna say copy, place it like that. Obviously it clashes, so I'm gonna say edit boundary, and I'm gonna extend it, place it like that. Finish, and then I'm gonna copy it further, place it like that, and then like that, and let's just copy this landing, place it like this, and then this ramp I'm gonna copy another one further like that. And then I'm gonna copy this landing and place it like this. So the only thing left is to adjust these. So I'm gonna say align, select this line, and then place it like that. Select the top face of my landing, and then this one. So I think you guys get the idea now. Okay, so this is essentially how it looks like. So I'm only gonna solve this side, and then everything else I'm just gonna copy and then rotate it and place it towards the side. All right, so I think we placed our system families, which is our floors. Obviously, the railings will come after. And so the next thing is I want to place my loadable families, which is gonna be my columns. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to insert and say load family, metric library, structural columns, concrete, and then I'm gonna go with concrete round and say open. So I'm gonna go to structure column, and then the size I'm gonna go with is 600 millimeters. So I'm gonna use this as my intersections. I'm gonna place the columns where the landings are, and then as constraints, I'm just gonna leave them as depth and as unconnected, and then I'm just gonna set. I'm just gonna place it right there. So if I select this, um, so I'm gonna place that at once. Let's just place all of them. Place all of them. So I'm gonna place all of them like this, and then another one right there, and then another one right there, another one right there. Perfect. So the next thing is I'm gonna select all these columns, right click, select all instances visible in view, and then I'm gonna set my base offset to minus 1000 millimeters. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select each of them, and then I'm gonna attach them towards their landings. So I'm gonna go to under modify column, attach top or base. I'm gonna say top or base, and then select my landings, and then they're gonna be attached like this. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, another loadable families that we have to incorporate are the bases. So I'm going to go to under foundation, we're going to go with isolated. And then I'm going to edit this footing. So I'm just going to say duplicate. Okay, I'm going to change this to 1200. And then the thickness, I'm going to make it 600 millimeters and say okay. So, and then I'm gonna place it, and obviously the footing or the foundation is gonna detect the structural column, so it's gonna be automatically placed on the bottom of the column. So that's a plus. And just gonna place it like that, like that. So the warning you are getting is due to the fact that it's telling you that the structural foundations has detected the structural column, so it's gonna place it on the bottom of the column. All right, so this is essentially how it looks like so far. All right, so the next thing is I'm gonna be essentially done on the side. Remember, I want to mirror everything else around the side. So I'm gonna concentrate now on the crossing, pedestrian crossing. So the pedestrian crossing is gonna consist of our parametric families essentially. So the first thing is we're gonna go to file and say new family. We're gonna generate some families. We're gonna go with metric generic model and say open. So I'm gonna start with my elastomeric bearings. So I'm gonna place some reference planes on each side. Okay, so this one is gonna be 410 divided by 2, which is 205, and then 205 this side, and then this side I'm gonna make it 150, then 150 this side. Right. So the next thing is I'm gonna go to the front elevation, create reference plane, place another one like this. So this one I'm gonna offset it by 30, and then copy another one further to the top by 100, and then another one by 30. And then reference level, create extrusion. I'm gonna place a rectangle, and I'm gonna say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation, drag this down. So this is essentially my steel plate. So I'm gonna assign it a material, type in steel, and I'm just gonna go with metal, apply OK. And then I'm gonna say copy and constrain, and then I'm just gonna copy it towards this position. And then for my elastomer, essentially our rubber that is covering steel plates inside, I'm gonna go with extrusion again, place another rectangle on the inside, and then I'm gonna offset it by 50 on each side. So perfect. I'm gonna say finish, go to the front elevation, drag this towards this point, and then this one towards that point. If I open up the 3D view, this is how it looks. So it's the level of detail is just 100. It's nothing major. So I'm just gonna change the material to rubber. So I'm gonna type in rubber, load it in, and say apply, and then OK. All right. So I'm gonna load this in. I'm not gonna save it, and this is our bearing. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to file again and say new family, and then we're gonna go with metric generic model and say open. All right, so in this instance we're gonna create our girders. So actually no, let's create our piers, our unique piers. So I'm gonna go with a reference plane, place two of them like this, another one like this, another one like that. Okay, so this one we're gonna offset it by, let's say, 2550 divided by 2, 1275, 1275. And then this one, this side is gonna be 600 by 600. Perfect. All right, so the next thing is we're gonna go to the front elevation. So on the front elevation, I'm gonna place another reference plane on top like this. And then this one, I'm just going to make it 5000 millimeters. I'm going to select this one, copy another one further, and I'm going to make this one 500. And then this one, I'm going to make it 700. All right. Okay. So I'm going to add a dimension from this reference plane towards the bottom one. So this one is going to be our pier shaft. So I'm going to add a parameter after we generate our geometry. So we're going to go to extrusion and say place a rectangle like this. Just lock it, make sure you lock it. And then I'm just going to add a chamfer of 200 millimeters, place it like that. And then I'm just going to mirror these diagonal lines on each side. And then I'm just going to say trim and extend, 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 trim and extend. All right, so let's just apply material. I'm gonna type in concrete. I'm gonna load in concrete cast in situ and say apply. Okay, finish edit mode. Go to the front elevation. I'm gonna drag this towards the top and then lock it and then lock it also at the bottom. So I'm gonna select this, create it, and make it an instance parameter. So this one is gonna be our pier shaft, and say okay, and then I'm gonna lock it. All right, so for the pier head, we're gonna go with while we are still in the front elevation, I'm gonna say swap the blend for two profiles. I'm gonna say sketch path, place it right in the middle, and then it's gonna be 500 like this. I'm gonna say finish edit mode, select profile one, edit profile. I'm gonna go to the plan, and then I'm just gonna say pick lines. I'm gonna pick these lines as they are, and then the next thing I'm going to say finish, select profile 2, edit profile, and then I'm going to add a rectangle like this. So this one, I'm going to offset it from this point by, so it's going to be 3350 divided by 2. And then this side also, it's going to be, so the total is going to be 3350. And then, okay, the length is going to be the same, 1.2. I'm going to say finish. And if I open up the 3D view and say finish edit mode, this is how it looks. But it doesn't stop there. If I go to the front elevation, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some concrete members right on the side. They're gonna be 700 and then by 200, and also this side 200. So if I measure from there, I need a clearance of 3000. So I'm just gonna reduce them. Uh, yeah, so I think 3050 is fine. So if I make them 175, 175, so 3000 is fine. All right, so I'm gonna say finish, go to the reference level, VR, set this to unlimited so that we can see the entire thing. I'm gonna set this to 10,000, apply OK. And then I'm just gonna drag this towards that point and then this one towards that point. So if I open up the 3D view, this is how it looks. If I set this to fine, this to realistic, this is how it looks. So I'm just gonna change this to concrete, and yeah, this is what we have. So the next thing is that I want to do is if I go to the front elevation, I'm gonna have to remove these reference planes so that when we adjust the pier shaft, the pier head also moves along with it. Alright, so that works. So we are done with our pier. I'm gonna load it in. I'm not gonna save it. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place it like this. And okay, the one thing I forgot, let's just go to our pier again. And I'm gonna say extrusion. I'm gonna place its base, and its base, I'm gonna offset it by So it's gonna be 3,500 divided by 2, 1750, 3,500. And then on this side, I'm gonna offset it by 1000 millimeters. So it's gonna be 2000 millimeters. Finish edit mode, go to the front elevation. You're gonna drag it downwards, lock it, and then the thickness of this is gonna be 600. Perfect. So just gonna change this to concrete just for consistency sake, and then I'm just gonna load it in. I'm not gonna save it. Overwrite this, and this is what we have. So I'm gonna attach it towards the face of this landing on this side. Place it like that, and then just make sure it is centered perfectly. So this is what it looks like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach it, align it like this so that the bases can be aligned perfectly. Obviously, you can adjust your this pier using the pier shaft instance parameter that we have created. All right. So the next thing is I'm gonna go to level one. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place some. I'm gonna place a reference plane using this point. Do you see this point? We're gonna place it like that, and then place another one on this side. This is how our girders are going to be arranged. And speaking of girders, we're going to have to generate one. So I'm going to go to file and say new family, and then I'm going to go with metric structural framing beams and braces and say open. I'm going to remove this extrusion, this line, these extra reference planes. I'm only going to be left with one. And then go to the left elevation, say create. Actually, let's just place reference planes left first. And then this one, I'm going to offset it by 45. Copy another one by 105. Another one by 305. Another one by 130. And then 125. And then I'm going to place another one right on this side. Place it like that. Another one like this. So this one is going to be 180. 180. Come on, man. 180. And then 180 also this side. And then I'm going to place other one on the inside. So this one is going to be 75. 75. And then I'm gonna place other ones on this side. So this one is gonna be 410 divided by 2, which is the 205, 205. Perfect. Now we can establish our geometry. So you're gonna go with extrusion, set your reference plane to reference plane left, and say okay. You're gonna start from this point, take it to the right by 180, take it down by 45, bring it diagonally down by 45 degrees towards this point, and then take it down by 305 diagonally towards this point, take it down like this, and then like that. So you can select all of these, mirror them towards the other side, remove these two just to clean the geometry. You're gonna join these ones, make it a single geometry. All right, so the next thing is you're just gonna make it concrete or precast. It's up to you. Finish, go to the reference level, drag it towards this reference plane, lock it, drag this side towards this reference plane, lock it so that you can control its length. And yeah, this is basically your concrete girder. So you're gonna load it in. I'm not gonna save it, and I'm just gonna place it based on these lines. So I'm gonna start from my grid, place it from this point, and then from this point towards that point, and then another one from this point towards this point towards that point. So what I'm gonna do is, in this instance, Um, I'm gonna go to the 3D view, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select these. Actually, I'm gonna go to structure, floor, place another floor. So I'm gonna place my floor based on the length, the the width of my pier head, which is 3000. So I'm gonna place it like that from this point and then towards that point. So let's just align it perfectly this side and then finish. Go to the 3D view, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna align it perfectly like this. And then after this, what I'm gonna do is obviously I'm gonna reduce it. I'm gonna have to reduce it perfectly. And then so this one I'm gonna select this ramp, edit boundary, align. I'm gonna choose this face, reduce it, finish edit mode, and then I'm gonna select this landing, edit boundary, and then I'm just gonna increase. I'm just gonna increase its size. Perfect. So now this is looking good, but I'm gonna have to reduce it again and select this line of the ramp and then reduce the position of this landing and also this one. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to level one. On level one, let me set this to wireframe. I'm gonna go to component and then I'm just gonna choose my bearings, and then I'm just gonna change the orientation, place them like this. So make sure they are perfectly right in the middle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say um, before we adjust our bearings, let's select our concrete girders. Remember, they are behaving as beams, so structural framing. So in order for you to manually adjust their heights, you must punch in like random numbers for the start level offset and end level offset, and then after that, it's you can align them. So I'm gonna align them on the soffit of this concrete deck. Perfect. So what we can do is this will give us a perfect indication on how we can adjust our the height of our pier. So I'm gonna cut a section right there and open up the section. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select it and I'm just gonna reduce its pier shaft. I'm gonna make it 4000. And if I measure from there to there, let's make it 4721, and I'm gonna reduce it. I'm gonna say minus the depth of our elastomeric bearing is 160, 160. So it's gonna be our pier shaft is gonna be 4561, and the total depth of our pier shaft along with our pier is going to be 5761. All right, so in this instance, I'm going to select my bearings. I'm going to move them down, place them perfectly like this. There you go. All right, so after this, you're going to select them, select this pier, select these elastomeric bearings, go to your floor plan. You can mirror them towards the other side. And then what you're gonna do is before we mirror this towards that side, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place my railings. I'm gonna set this to realistic and then this to fine, and this is how it looks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to architecture. Before placing our railings, I'm gonna press VG on my keyboard. Remember, we are using the structural template. So we're gonna have to select all of these and then check all of these, apply, okay. And then I'm going to set my discipline to coordination. And then after this, I'm going to go to railing, pick lines, and then pick these edges and say finish, finish, and then it's only going to be showing this top rail. So select it, go to edit type, baluster placement. You're going to set the baluster to baluster square 20 millimeters. I think it's fine. Do the same thing for these ones. Apply, okay, apply, and then okay. And then you're going to say pick new host. You're going to select this ramp, and then it's going to be placed perfectly like this. So you're going to do the same thing for the rest of them. So for the landing, finish, pick new host, and then for the other ramps again. Okay, so this is how it looks when you are done with it. So couple of notes to be taken. When you approach this corner, let me just remove this. Obviously, we're gonna say railing, pick lines, pick this line, and then say align, AL, and then select this face, select this point to reduce it, select this face, select this point to reduce it, and say finish, and say pick new host, and then select this landing, and then it's gonna be placed like that. All right, and then in this instance, obviously, you're gonna set your line like this for this landing, and also this side is gonna run like an L shape, like that. All right, so the next thing is you can just say railing also for this one, for the pedestrian crossing. You can select this edge, pick new host, railing again, the side, finish edit mode, pick new host. There you go. All right, so the only thing left is to mirror the other side. So I'm gonna select all of these, and then these two, filter, uncheck grids, levels, and say apply, and then okay. And then I'm gonna create a group. So let's create a group and say okay, and then okay. Go to level one. You're gonna copy this from this point towards this point. And then you're gonna say rotate, center of rotation place it on this point, and then you're gonna rotate it by 180 degrees like that. Go to the 3D view, and this is how it looks. All right. So yeah, that's it. That's a conceptual pedestrian bridge model using system families like floors, railings, and loadable families like bases, structural columns, and then parametric families like the ones we have generated for these special piers, the girders, and also the elastomeric bearings. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing. It really means a lot. And yeah, I will see you on the next tutorial. Peace.